So actually, one of my sisters moved in because she needed somewhere to live. Things would just happen. I mean, you go to bed, cupboards closed, wake up, they're all open.
No.
Shower would turn on. She's a lawyer, and she has like lawyer encyclopedias, whatever they are.
Okay.
And one like fell out and opened to the J section.
No.
So,
oh my God.
And so his name was John. We, and my family, we were like, oh, John, it's just John. John's just, haunting.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Zalowski here with
Cameron Barbier.
Today, I'm very excited for this guest. We have Alex Bloom with us. Yay. So we officially met at Reba, which is so funny because you come from a real estate family here in La Jolla, but like I feel like we met after COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think everyone just, started finally going back and, that was it. Alex is an agent with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, California Properties. I must say the whole
Good
thing.
job.
Thank you. I was pretty proud of that. By the way, I've just been copying and pasting that since Matt Toby came on. So I started talking with you at Reba because we just started talking about all kinds of stuff. And I was like, oh, she's got some stories. So I asked her, I was like, will you please come on the podcast? And she's like, yes. And once, Matt did it, I'm basically getting the entire table that we set out to come on. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Alex, welcome to Behind the Lockbox.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So excited
yes.
to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of came in and I was like, where do you want to start? And you have a couple, do you want to start with the banger or did you want to start with some little stuff? What do you think?
I said start with a banger.
Okay, do it.
Why not?
100% I agree. Why not?
And I'm doing this because, I love podcasts. All I do is listen to podcasts.
Same.
So this is the first podcast I've ever been on. I'm very excited.
Yay! I'm so glad it's us.
And my favorite thing is spooky, haunted stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
we've had a few of those.
Yeah. So I think it's only fair to start with that.
100%.
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
So this is a family story.
Oh.
But it has to do with real estate. So and this is if anyone ever talks about ghost stories, this is what I bring up because it's crazy.
Ooh,
wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
I am too.
So back in, I think it was 2008, 2009.
Okay.
After all the craziness, short sales were what was happening.
Yep.
There was a property in PB.
Okay.
It was a triplex.
Okay.
And my dad decided to go ahead and buy it. Great deal. All that good stuff.
Amazing.
Okay. So he buys it.
And then it begins.
Well, it actually starts before it even begun. They had a broker's open house. It was back in the day. I don't even know if it was through Reba, Mission Bay. It was something.
Probably
I don't know.
Mission. Yeah. You go to both. I mean, probably one of the two.
I don't know what it was, but
Okay.
he said that, everyone showed up to go look at the property and the owner did not want to sell the house. He wanted to stay there.
Oh, because again, this was days of short sale. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
not like he was come see my house. He wanted to stay.
Pissed. Yeah, he wanted to stay. So he had a
sucks.
huge, scary German Shepherd that he let out of the house to go, attack people when everyone came on the property.
Oh my God.
Stop!
To go look at it.
Was he biting people?
I think that was, the intention.
Wow.
Was the dog to go bite people.
Whoa.
So everyone ran out and they were like, we're not going to look at the house. We're done, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so my dad, I don't even think saw it technically, but he still bought it. He decided it was still a good deal.
Well, I mean, look, a good deal's a good deal.
A good deal's a good deal.
Yeah.
Triplex and PV. Hey.
Yeah. So he went ahead, bought it, all that good stuff. Went through escrow, it closed, and the last step was to get keys. And the owner was just ghosting nothing. My dad's like, that's a little weird.
And is this the same owner that was letting the German Shepherd out, or was that a tenant?
Yes.
So he had lived on the property.
Yes. So he lived in one of the units, rented out the rest.
Okay.
And so my dad was trying to coordinate to get the keys, couldn't get it. He decided to finally reach out to, I think he got in contact with the owner's family somehow.
Okay.
So he gets in contact and they're like, I guess we'll go check in on him. So they go.
Oh no.
Little trigger warning. He had committed suicide in the master bedroom. So
We've had another story like that. Yeah.
yeah, so it's really, really sad. And I think clearly, he's probably in a lot of debt and lost his property. And so very, very tragic.
Not a great time for a lot of people,
no.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the situation. The family, though, obviously the body was removed, but they said, we don't own it. You have to deal with it now. We're not going to deal with it.
Yeah.
So
Which sucks, but it's true. Yeah, he owned it.
Yeah. So and no one's going to go and clean that. Who do you hire? Who do you...
Yeah, I mean...
What do you do?
We had someone else on that a guy did this at a property. Did you hear the one?
I did.
Where the cops were chasing him and
yes,
he killed himself and he's like, yeah, we had to clean it up. Like there was blood. Like we had to clean everything up.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, I should tell this story because it gets crazy.
Oh gosh.
So they had it's because it's a biohazard having all that
you
blood,
have to
all
have
that. Yeah.
Hazmat people come in and there are companies that will come in, but it's a thing.
Yeah. So they came out, and the mattress was covered and they wouldn't take it though. They wouldn't take the whole mattress. It was a whole thing, costed so much money. So my dad just took a knife and cut out the blood splatter and then they would take it. It was like a whole thing.
Oh my God.
And then
Your
he's
poor
like,
dad to have to
I know. He was telling me all this. I was like, are you good? And he was like, yeah.
Okay.
So he finally got it cleaned up, dealt with all of that. But now you have to get a tenant in there and, who's going to want to live, in there after everything.
Did he have to disclose that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, do you
I think he did. I think even when it comes to renters, you have to disclose within
it makes
the 3
sense.
years.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, so hard to get someone in there, of course. So actually, one of my sisters moved in because she needed somewhere to live.
She's like, Dad, do I get it for free? Because, I know what went down here.
Yeah, I know. And she wasn't bothered by it, so.
Good.
She moved in, yeah. So, I don't know if you said you're kind of into the spooky, morbid stuff.
Yes.
So, if
we believe in it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So, if you subscribe to that.
Yeah.
You kind of know that when you exit life prematurely.
Yes.
They say that that's when hauntings happen. So if you were murdered, suicide, whatever, your soul didn't get to exit the way it should have.
Yeah.
So that's how hauntings
sometimes
occur.
They're also stuck between here and crossing over. They weren't necessarily ready to go. I've met with a medium, and so we just talked about this last week, literally last week's episode, and it's a thing. You know what I mean? So especially if they were. I think if you're at peace and you do it just because you were maybe very mentally ill or you just wanted to be gone, maybe then that doesn't always happen. But he clearly was sticking his dog after people. So he was angry. Yeah. So if you're an individual of that nature and then you do that, then I could see where then maybe things would start to happen.
Yeah.
And they did.
Oh, so
no.
to your sister.
Yes. So things would just happen. You go to bed, cupboards closed, wake up, they're all open.
No.
Shower would turn on.
These are big ones.
Oh, these are big ones. This is why I'm saying this is my best ghost story I have.
Holy crap.
She says, I wasn't here for this, but she said that she's a lawyer and she has lawyer encyclopedias or whatever they are.
Okay.
And one fell out and opened to the J section.
No.
So, and so his name was John. We, and my family, we were like, oh, John, it's just John. John's just, haunting.
Oh my gosh, chills.
I do too.
Yeah, so that was John, and I guess one time, the water in the shower just turned on all the time, and
this happened to. Did you listen to Kevin's episode in Pasadena? You need to go back and listen to that one. This was 3 weeks ago or something, and he was like, "I'm freaking out of here," because he had a listing and there was definitely some activity. He felt it. He felt like eyes were looking at him, but he couldn't see anything. And the water upstairs turned on. He heard it in the pipe. It's an old Pasadena home. And so he heard the pipes, and then he went upstairs and the shower was wet. Nobody was there. He was there by himself. No one had come in.
Ugh, I hate that.
And so I believe her that that stuff, you know, lights can flicker, things can, cabinets can, Oh yeah.
Wait, was this house, because now I know which sister you're talking about. Was there the kitchen and there's the patio outside? Was this that house?
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe. We'll talk about it after.
Okay.
I'm maybe. I think you might have been there.
Yeah.
But so
you went and partied there with John?
With John. I was with John.
You might have met John.
I met John.
No way.
So I guess the water had been turning on, and so my dad finally came out and was like, "I'll go look at it." And I think John hated my father clearly because he bought
took
the
his
property.
house.
Yeah. So all the water was shut off, and my dad is in the shower trying to fix something, and the water just comes pouring out on his head. Wouldn't stop because there was a rain shower, and just wouldn't stop. You couldn't turn it off because the shower is already off, and it's just pouring down on him. And that
wow, John is tricky.
Oh, John, he's ruthless. And so I guess, that was the craziest thing. And because multiple people were there to say it happened, that's why I believe it. This time?
Yeah.
I believed everything else, but that's when I was like, damn.
And your dad's not going to, he's like, the water like is off. Like, you know,
like, what are you going to do? How do you turn that off?
What did they do?
I think eventually John was
out.
like, oh, I'll stop.
I'm bored.
John, I'm bored. I'm bored of you now.
But yeah, eventually though.
How long did she live there?
Well, my sister wasn't fazed by it. She was just like, whatever. And I think eventually he like wasn't getting what he wanted. He wasn't getting a rise. Yeah, he gave up.
Finally crossed over. He's like, all right, I guess I'll go to
someone else.
Hell or where, I don't know where he is.
I don't know.
Where you at, John?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Don't come here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We don't accept that here.
No, I don't
Especially
allow those
not in this
things.
space.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a cross over the door. No. I don't allow those things in here. Anyway.
Sage.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so my, many tenants between that, my brother lives there now. And I always ask, I'm like, is John ever like,
Has John come back?
is John there?
He moved on.
And he's like, he doesn't subscribe to that. He's like, no. But I think,
You think
Some stuff happens, but your brother's like, it's coincidence or it's like,
yeah. He's like, it's
like
fine.
when the lights flicker, he's like, oh, it's just like a power outage, like outside, like whatever, you know? And you're like,
I think it's John.
I think it's John messing with you.
I think it's John.
I
Wow.
would to have the cupboards open when you wake up.
Oh, I would lose my shit.
No, I would not be
How
cool
was
with
she
that.
okay with that? I'd be like,
She just was like, haha.
Good for her though.
Yeah.
Like, because that's very much just like, I mean, they can't.
well, but I would also be like, was that John or was someone,
someone breaking
here?
in?
Yeah. And looking through my stuff.
Living by myself. Yes, I would absolutely be
Yeah,
like, the
I would
boogeyman
convince
was
myself.
here. Like, oh, I would freak me out. But again, knowing though that happened there, like, you know, if
that
you
makes
live
more
there,
sense.
then you're like, okay, logic take over. Like, it's obviously like nobody was in here. Well, John was in here. John was in here, but like nobody else
John
was.
is here.
And it was open to the J and then it's like or whatever.
Yeah.
the
Did
flavor.
she hear? Was she there when the book fell out and like hit the floor?
I think so. I think that's what.
Oh hell no.
Yeah.
Oh hell no.
No.
To hear it hit smack on the floor and it's just open to the like.
Like,
Yeah,
what is
like,
the
how did
coincidence of that?
No.
Yeah.
There-
And how did it
No.
fall off the that's
Like it was
crazy.
tucked away.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
It's not like it was like barely sitting on the counter. Like it was like in its bookshelf, in its place.
Yeah.
Dang.
No.
I know. But
Girl.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys still own it today.
Yeah.
Your brother lives in that unit.
Yeah.
So it's only family that's lived in that unit. You guys are just like sticking
We've
it
had
to
some
John.
people in
Like,
between, but I don't know.
Everyone's like, bye.
yeah. They're like, weird things happen in here. I'm gonna find somewhere else to live.
Yeah.
Like, and your brother's like, okay, I'll move in.
Yeah. Anytime my dad comes back, John's like,
Dad,
bought this
just
off me.
Don't come here, Dad.
yeah, you can't come here anymore.
I'm a little concerned of if you guys go to sell it, what he's gonna do.
Ooh, the
Watch
next
like
owners.
watch like a random German Shepherd just like appears like a lost dog is
Or
like
maybe he would
sitting in
leave
the
because
yard.
then it's like too far removed.
Wait, what did happen to the German Shepherd?
Unclear. I don't have any answers for that.
So he wasn't there. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Cupboards open. Mm-mm. No.
Yeah.
No.
That's
I
always my
100%
best
believe
ghost
in that.
story.
Our
My
guest
dad-
last week. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'll
Go ahead.
just say my dad used to work at the Chart House in La Jolla.
Oh, yes.
Or it used to be. And it had burned down before, I think it was a house or something. And then he started working there. And his best friend, they were both bartenders and they were closing up and then going down the street to like meet some friends to drink. And she said that she was leaving. He's like, all right. So he's downstairs and he's putting all the chairs, or no, he was putting all the glasses like in the bar. And then he goes upstairs and he hears footsteps and he calls for her. He's like, what are you still doing here? And like, no response. And he goes up and all the chairs that they had put away were all back out. And he's like, you're messing with me. And then he hears clinking glasses downstairs. So he runs downstairs. All the glasses they put in the bar were all sitting on top. And he's like, I'm out of here. And he runs down to the place that they were going to meet for drinks. And he's like, I cannot believe you messing with me. And she's like, what are you talking about? I've been here. I left when I left. It's haunted.
Wait, did anyone die? in
Yeah.
that
Did
fire?
anyone die in the fire, or it was a house before?
I think it was a house before. I mean, must have, right?
What,
Yeah.
what
That's
is it
pretty-
now? What is it now?
Is that Eddie V's?
Oh,
Maybe?
Or is it?
Or crab? Whatever.
this is before my time. I mean, I've only been here like in San Diego like 13 years, but only like 10 years in La Jolla. So it's probably before
Yeah,
I
I
was
don't know.
here
Maybe
then.
it's the crab catcher place or
Yeah,
Eddie
yeah,
V's
yeah,
or something.
yeah.
I forget.
So it's over on that side right
Yeah,
there
it was
on
on the cliff.
Prospect.
Huh.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
could have been.
House, probably like
Could have
old
been.
houses.
Yeah,
in
it
the
could have
day.
been back in the day, maybe. Yeah, and then they turned him like wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was
Nuts.
spooked.
Oh, I would
ugh.
be.
Yeah, I don't like.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's so funny when Kevin was here. He's like, I sometimes like get up in the middle of the night for water. I scurry back to my bed. I do the same thing. Like, there's like, it's totally like chill. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But I
yeah.
still am just like, ugh.
You never
And I
know.
get in my
You
bed and
never
I'm
know.
like, did you see anything, Gwen? Like, no, we're good. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
oh, yeah, I've
okay,
done that.
We're good. Yeah. You're just like,
Yeah.
you know, you wake up and you're just like, I don't know.
For me, like
Or
our
would-
dog has like messed with stuff before, but I didn't know she has, so I assume it's just a ghost. Of course, that's where my brain
Yeah.
goes.
John, why are you here?
Yeah.
I'm not even in your house.
And like I literally one time like was like, "Hey ghost,
if you could please
I mean
not.
no harm. We're just like living together." Like
And it's your dog.
it was my dog. I had no
What's
idea.
your dog's name?
Okay, so I live with one of my other sisters. And
Oh,
it's her dog.
okay.
But we live together, so it's like my dog.
Of course.
But her
of
name
course.
is Ryder. She's
Oh,
a
that's
golden
cute.
retriever.
Ryder's
That's
like,
really
it was
cute.
me, guys. It
Yeah.
was me.
I was like, "There's a ghost."
Ryder's like looking at you like, no, I did that. Like, what are you saying? Oh my
Sometimes
god.
I still get weird with like putting my feet over the edge, like a monster's gonna come out and like grab. You know when you like dangle your hand on
My-
the side of the bed, I'm like, maybe I should do
Yes,
that.
I mean, yeah.
You have kids, and you're like, "No, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine. And then they're
They're
like,
fine.
why did you pull your hand up so quick? You're like,
Oh, I don't know.
It was scary. It was scary. Kind of like when you would think like sharks were in your pool, like when you would dive
yeah.
down to the bottom of the pool and it's like, shark's gonna get me. Like, I know. These
never did
fears,
that.
these irrational fears we have, you know? Anyway. You never did that, you said? Just me? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. All right. Well, anyway. All right. Well, that was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, what else
I
do you
know.
have?
Okay. I'm gonna go with like a funny one.
Okay.
Funny, grossish one.
Ooh, love it.
Okay, so I worked in property management for a bit before this, and it was
That's something else.
That
it's
is
the
I did
things
too.
you see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I honestly like don't even remember all the craziness because every
You've
day.
Everything
blacked it
was
out.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like
I remember
total PTSD. Yeah.
exactly. But I remember this one story recently and was like laughing to myself because I was like, that was absurd. So I worked for a larger company. They're based in San Diego.
Okay.
And I worked at one of their properties for a bit, and they have a bunch of units. It's like over
Okay.
like 1,000 units.
Oh, wow.
And it's by one of the major colleges here.
Okay.
That's what I'll say.
Yes. Perfect.
And so I got a call one day, and whoever answers the call, you're kind of stuck dealing with the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy's calling me and he's like, I have little bugs in my room or my bed or whatever, something like
no.
that. And I was like,
Oh, no.
okay, well, the way it works, we have pest control come like 2 days a week. You write down in a sheet, they come, and that's it. There's nothing more I can do. You know, that's just how protocol works.
Little bugs.
Yeah, he was saying like little bugs. And I was like, what does that mean? And so,
I know what that means.
yeah, well, you'd think.
Oh.
It's something different, actually. So
Not bed bugs.
Not bed bugs. Yeah.
Interest- Okay.
And so whatever,
intrigued.
he like keeps calling. He's so mad. He's just screaming me out. And I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Call your own pest control guy.
Yeah.
Like, if it's an
Also,
emergency.
that's like a lot of, that's a good option. I feel like to have it, what'd you say, every other week or twice a week?
yeah, they like, I think it was, they come like Tuesdays or Thursdays, something like that.
That's like,
They're like contracted, like maybe
Yes.
not to that house every time, but it's like
Yeah, but
these
that's
are
a
the
good
days they're
option.
out for us.
And they'll
yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
But I think it probably was like a Friday, so he's going to have to wait a
Tuesday.
while.
All the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I get it. That's annoying, but you'll be okay. It'll be fine.
It's just
Little
bugs.
bugs.
Just bugs.
Kill them.
And move on.
Vacuum them up. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. So he, you know, a few hours later, calls me again. He's like, I need to talk to Alex. And I'm like, okay. He was like, so I've been doing some research. And
Oh, boy.
I think they're carpet beetles. And I was like, okay.
What the hell is a carpet beetle?
Okay. Well, I actually have experiences with this because my college house had them.
Ew.
I know. Only in my room, too.
No.
Yeah.
what
yeah.
are they?
Here in San Diego or somewhere?
No,
You went to school
LA,
somewhere else?
in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, they're basically like they live in really old like carpet or like if you thrift like clothing, like old clothing.
Ew.
Yeah. And they're like little tiny things and they show up like they multiply pretty fast. Yeah, they're disgusting. And I've dealt with it. So I was on the phone being like, I've been there. Like I've been there in the
You're
trenches
like,
with you.
oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are
Maybe
best
I'll try to
friends.
get a 911 pest control.
Yeah. But I was like, there's nothing more I can
carpet
do.
beetle?
Yeah.
I'm such a clean freak. Like
have
my
to
skin is
Google
crawling
this.
right now. I'm
Oh.
not Googling it. I'm not Googling it.
Oh.
I don't want to see.
I dealt with him for it was like a month straight. And then
So what
finally
if there's like thousands?
they're not like that much, but they're like noticeable. Like they'll crawl up your walls eventually. And when I was in college, I mean, I was in college. You deal with like
You do. You deal
Yeah.
with like some disgusting
Yeah,
stuff, what
but
you put up with. But like
eventually
no.
they were crawling on my bed, and that's when I was
Nope,
like,
nope.
So again, I was telling this guy, I've been there. I get it. It sucks, but you just have to vacuum it up until whatever
Tuesday.
day it was. Yeah, like we'll get through this.
Yeah,
I've been there.
Right.
So he's pissing me.
Or
hangs
go to
up.
Home Depot and buy some, I don't know, raid. Wash your sheets.
Carpet beetle
there-
remover.
Yeah, there has to be something. Anyway.
Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PROPERTYSHOWCASEGROUP.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com.
Yeah, so eventually someone was like, "Hey Alex, there's someone outside. He like wants to talk to you." And I'm like,
Oh, Lord.
oh my god, it's gonna be him again. But okay, customer service voice. How can I help?
It's a mini John.
It's John again.
How can I help?
This man, for some reason, thought I didn't believe him. I did. He scooped up a bag of them and brought me a bag of carpet beetles to show me. And I was like, oh
I told you I know what they are.
I was like, I believe you.
I dealt with this in college.
Yeah.
Like, I believe you. But
Yeah.
there is nothing I can do.
There's nothing I can do.
If you scooped them up in this bag, scoop up the rest and throw them away.
Yeah. But I just like picturing him like so furious. He's like scooping them up and like putting them in a bag.
Were they alive?
Oh yeah, they were crawling. Oh, crazy. And I was like,
The property management life, man.
yeah. And he like also, I was like, okay, I believe you, go throw them away. And he like wouldn't either. He like wanted me to keep them on like file or something. I was like, no.
He's like, no. Put this in your file cabinet. Like, and you're like, sir, I am not keeping a bag of carpet beetles.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And so eventually I was like, okay, brought him inside, threw him away. Like, because he was not throwing away himself. He needed them on file. And then eventually I was
You should have
like,
killed one and taped it to his like
yeah.
actual file.
Yeah. And been like carpet beetle
Carpet
proof.
beetle proof.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so eventually I think I got like a manager or something. So I was like,
You guys got to like get someone in here. Like, I can't deal with this. So
Yeah.
like, how do you get rid of them other than the obvious of like, because what if you don't find all of them, then they're going to keep mold. So you have to you have to have a pest control person come in, I assume, and like spray or
well, I'm an
bomb
expert
your room.
on carpet beetles. So you have to vacuum like every inch of wherever they are.
Yeah.
Every single day so they don't like keep multiplying for like a week.
Yeah, because what if you miss one and there's like
Yeah. So I like in college, here I am like vacuuming and then like moving my bed and then vacuuming and
how
then
did they even come about? I guess
I lived in a really old house. It was like from the 60s or 70s. They removed all the carpet except for my room. It was like old shag orange carpet. And I was like, that's cool. It's like kind
till
of
it wasn't.
Yeah, until
Yeah.
you know something like that.
And then eventually I called my landlord and I was like,
Rip this shit out now.
I was like, I've been dealing with this for like a month. Like I need like
Someone
pest
to cut-
control.
Yeah.
So eventually we got it handled, but I have never been like, oh my, what am I doing?
And like, is it like a bed bug where if you like wash everything and dry it, the heat kills it, or like you
it was
just
like a spray, like they have to
Okay.
spray it and kill it, and then you leave for a couple of hours, and then
What are
and
the
then-
odds that you've had to deal with this twice?
twice in my life.
And I've never even heard of a carpet beetle.
Yeah.
Like,
and I hope you never do again.
no, if I find, today I find a bug, I'm like, Alex,
Get
what
over
is
here.
this? Is this a carpet beetle?
I'm bringing
This rug
some
is
to
new.
Reba.
This rug is new. I bring
A bag.
this. I found this. Where did you find it?
She's like, that's an
For
ant.
you. Oh my
for
God.
you.
That's not a carpet beetle. That's God, last week we had bugs too. Oh my
Really?
God. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yellow jacket beetles.
Oh.
Yeah, wait till you hear that one. It was, I mean, I have PTSD for her.
Yeah, that was
My
wild.
God, it was wild.
Ooh.
Got stung, like the whole thing. Oh yeah, you have to
like
listen.
carpet
Yeah,
beetles don't sting.
I know, but they crawl. Ugh,
Yeah,
ugh,
they crawl.
ugh. Do they
Ugh.
bite?
No, it's worse.
No, I think
They're
they're
just
like
there.
harmless. They're
They're
just
just
there.
there.
But like when you enter my bed, that's where we draw the
Oh,
line.
yeah.
Oh,
absolutely
are
not.
you kidding me? If I see
No.
like here, I live at the beach, and so like you sometimes get those silverfish that are
Oh, yeah, I
like
get those too.
prehistoric.
Oh
they are.
yeah.
No, they literally are, and I'm like, I have a bone to pick with God when I get
Yeah.
up there. This is not okay.
Who
They're-
created these?
First of all, what purpose do they serve?
None.
Like, and then you know when you smash them, they just like smear. They're just they're disgusting. I can't. And then those little like black earwig bugs kind of, is that what they're called? Like they're always, I find them once a week on the floor and I immediately scoop them up, put them in. Nothing lives in here.
Well, the silverfish,
but me and Gwen,
my friends from Colorado, and they don't have that there.
I never had them in Arizona.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in Arizona and I had scorpions, which was worse. But I didn't know what this, and it's worse obviously on the coast, but they're everywhere. And I Googled that they are literally like a prehistoric, like they have survived.
They're cockroach.
Yeah. Yeah. And like also at the beach, you've got cockroaches, like they're outside from time to time. And I'm just like,
yeah, I know.
Once I found one dead at the threshold and I was like,
I'm moving out.
I was like, okay, Gwen, don't panic. And she's just looking at me and I'm like, don't get near it. And she like jumps back 5 feet and I'm like, okay, I don't need this Tupperware. I don't need this lid. Like, and I'm like scooping it up and I'm like closing it, taping it, throwing it outside. Cause you smash it, they'll run. Like it was on its back. So like we get pest control, I make sure it's here, but I also don't want anything sprayed in here because of my dog. You know what I mean? So like I'm killing little bugs every all the time. But like if I find a carpet beetle, that is it. I'm out. Moving. Everything gets burned. They're like, why is your building on fire? Well, I found a carpet beetle. Burn that bitch down.
Well, I hope you never have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's not enough for one lifetime.
That's insane. Okay. Do you have time for, where are we at, Max? Do we have time for one more? Kind of. It goes fast, doesn't it?
Some of my stories for the questions might be longer. So.
And yes, this will incite. So, we play a game because
I know.
She knows she
prepared. I did my homework.
I know. I love it.
Love it.
Dude, I'll go into Reba and she's like, dude, last week's episode was really funny. I'm like, oh my God, thank you.
I know. Okay. Sorry.
You,
tangent,
Matt Tovey, a bunch of you listen.
Yeah, I love podcasts. I have a full list on my notes pad because people ask me what I listen to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys got added because you're so good.
Love you, boo. I know. The only way to measure is downloads. I don't think people know that. Okay.
really?
Anyone out there? This is thank you for.
You're welcome.
Let me just pitch us for a second. Let me plug my own podcast. Please download and subscribe and rate and review us because it's the only way that like we can measure who's really listening. And I will say at the end of the year, we got sent from like Buzzsprout, who's our host site. That's where I upload and it pushes out everywhere. We were listened to in 17 countries.
That's so cool.
I actually, did I post it?
I don't think so.
How dare I? I will post it.
Okay.
We're still in January. Side note, this is recorded earlier. But it was really cool. And we were in the top 50%. I mean, I know that a podcast is like, everyone has one these days, but like,
no, that's amazing.
We've only been on for 6 months and I was like so proud of us. But the only way to measure, like when I quit looking because I was like, we hit 1,000 download. Like every week I'd be sending her like our analytics stuff. And but some of our reels have gotten like 150,000 views. Like I am so proud. Like
I'm proud of you guys.
Thank you.
I'll go home and download every single one.
I love you. Yeah. And that's the thing is like not everyone like if you don't even usually if you follow or subscribe it for everyone out there, it should download automatically, weekly. Like when you open up your podcast, your Apple app or whatever, like I'll see my stuff starting to download of like all the shows I listen to, but that's how you measure it. It's very analytics are really kind of based on downloads and,
I didn't know that.
Views and reels and like, YouTube subscribers, like we've only got a few, but like I still get, agents text all, we've even had a couple agents that have reached out and been like, can I come on? I'm like, oh, yes, you can. Of course you can. Like, of course. So it's been really, really fun. So thank you for your support because we love you.
Of course.
And I always like to shout out like, Matt Tovey every week. He's like, good episode this week, so.
I'll start texting you when I listen.
I love you. So far it's mostly just my mom every week. I love you, Mom. Hey. And then my sister-in-law is also so wonderful. She like, on her morning walks every Tuesday, she's like, listen to the pod. And she's even like in the beginning, she'd be like, I know you were trying to edit this out, but you missed it. I'm like, oh my God. And I'd like go back in. Yeah. So my family's been so great. And like my dad is still trying to figure it out. Love you, Dad. Terry.
We'll get there.
Well, maybe not, but it's okay. I love you anyway. But my brother's like, yeah, I'm like 6 episodes behind. I'm like,
rude.
And he's like, I haven't cut the grass. It's winter and I'm traveling. So on the airplane, I'll listen to them all. He like, just like, and then he told me he listens to him at like 1.5 speed. I'm like, do we sound like chipmunk? Like you're such a little shit. I love you too, Todd. Anyway, he's a brat. Okay.
Oh my God.
He's the worst. You know.
Yes. Actually, that reminds me. He hasn't texted me back, which is weird.
Oh, what did you text him?
I can't tell you.
Oh. All right.
Okay. Game time.
Yes.
Right?
Go.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we're playing a game, as you know, 3 rapid fire questions. It's called Punch List because we're going to hit you with 3 questions. Am I saying that right now, Todd? I hope so. I'm going to get a text from him. I don't know. He's the one that named it.
Oh, okay.
Go.
Okay. What's the craziest or pettiest thing that's ever killed or almost killed one of your deals?
I just feel like sometimes people not being honest in the clear communication.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we can only
do so much.
Yeah, we can only know what you tell us.
Exactly.
So if you're not telling us things, then there's nothing more I can do or help you with. And I think that's a hard thing sometimes, you know? You're like,
it is.
Especially if you lose out on a deal and you're like, I could have done more, but
I could have saved that if you would have just said or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, just clear communication.
A few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, we had Sabrina Covington on, and I just closed a deal with her last November. And she called me on Halloween and was like, so I have to tell you something. Are you sitting down? And I'm like, oh God, like what? You know, and this is like right before Thanksgiving, probably last deal of the year. I'm like trying to close out business. She's like, so the tenant actually died peacefully in the property. And I'm like, okay.
Wait, after...
In escrow.
In escrow. We were in escrow. We were in the middle of escrow. And I was like, you don't know how your client's going to take that. And I did think, I was like, I think we're going to be okay. Don't panic. I'm going to call my client. Like, they're the most chill couple. They're our age. Like, I think we're going to be okay. And we were. She told us on the podcast that the seller actually didn't want to tell her about it because he doesn't feel like that's a disclosure because ghosts are, what did she say?
He was an atheist.
He was an atheist. And so ghosts have to do with religion, and he doesn't believe in religion, and that shouldn't be a disclosure, and that's not a thing. And so he don't, and she's like, no. What? We have to tell people. This is like a law. We have to tell people if someone dies in the property. And he's like, it has nothing to do with the property. And she's like, yeah, it
has
like,
everything.
He's like, they're going to think it's haunted, and it's not haunted, and that's not a real thing because he doesn't subscribe to that, right? And so my client was like, I'm cool. Like, my father passed away in our home. It was very peaceful. Like, I know how this goes. Like, it's all good. Apparently, she did die of cancer peacefully. It was fine. But like, it's like when people aren't honest about stuff, had he not said that and then we found out later, it probably wouldn't have been a thing because my client's so cool. But like,
it could have been.
It could have been if the client really freaks out or doesn't want to live in, you know, there are a lot of clients that are like, I would never. And I'm like, well, I understand, you know? So that and egos, you know, you got to try to keep that. Listen, we do it all. It's exhausting. Anyway, continue.
Okay. What's the weirdest thing or situation you've ever walked in on?
Other than John.
Okay, this is another good story. So I started doing real estate up in LA when I was still in college.
Okay.
And we mainly focused like West LA by like the water. So like Manhattan Beach, Venice, all that good stuff. So I was on a team and we got a listing in like a couple blocks away from Muscle Beach in Venice.
Oh.
And it was during COVID. So if you weren't there, which you probably weren't, in Venice Beach during COVID, the homeless situation got really bad.
Yeah.
And so...
It was bad enough down here, but it was really bad in LA.
Yeah. And so it was a younger family. They just had a daughter and they moved out. Okay. And I knew they moved out. That's all I knew. I didn't know why they moved out, clearly because the homeless situation, everything had gotten so bad that it was really unsafe and they didn't want to raise a daughter over there. And so I did not know anything. We were walking into this, you know, we just got the listing. We were going to go look at it.
Right.
The homeless people had been living in it. They were only moved out for like a month. Like full squatters living in it. I walked in. There is like sleeping bags, mattresses. There's crack pipes. There's needles. There is everything.
Are they there?
No. Or not there. They weren't there when we walked in.
But you walked into all this shit
all
everywhere.
Of this, yeah. And this is like a beautiful home. Like this is like multi-million-dollar, like Mediterranean, like I loved it. I would have moved in a second. It was beautiful.
And so did they. They were like, score.
They're like, this is great.
Smoke a crack in this beautiful living room overlooking the ocean.
There's like a little tub, lots of drugs in there and crazy stuff. And so it was so bad. And so they cleaned it up, got it restaged, you know, we couldn't do open houses then, but started doing virtual open houses and some showings and all that.
Yeah.
And once we'd leave, homeless people would break in. I don't know how they would break in.
Dude, they're savvy.
It was guarded. Yeah, so they would break in every single time someone would leave. They were just like, this is my house. And so it was like, I think there was a ringleader. So the ringleader...
And they're all high as a kite.
Yeah. And so we got one of the people arrested because he wouldn't leave. He was like, he fully believed, like, this is my house. Like, I live here.
Oh, my God.
Whoa.
So we'd get him arrested. He would get out of jail, go right back to the house.
This has happened to us, by the way.
This is common, isn't it?
Yeah. One guy was like, walked in on our cleaner and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I live here. This is my house. And we're like,
you don't.
This is a $20 million house on the water. No, you don't live here. Like, anyway.
Yeah. And so it got to the point where like, it was so bad. We couldn't stop people from breaking in that we had one of our agents actually live there. because that was the only way to stop it. And the
Is
owners
if somebody
agreed.
was there all full
yeah,
time.
yeah, and the owner agreed.
Who agreed to live there though?
Yeah.
What was it? A guy?
It was a guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
He's like 6'7". He's huge.
And
Like,
he was like, "Go ahead, try
yeah,
to break
yeah.
in."
He's the
Like,
sweetest human ever, but he looks scary.
Yeah, that's-
and the owner agreed because
Was he
clearly.
single?
Did he ever see? Yeah, seriously.
Of course, I take it there. Anyway, go
Did
ahead.
he ever see like anything?
I think after
Once
that
they
it's-
saw lights on and, like,
and this
people-
guy
Yeah.
was they're
Yeah.
not going to mess with that, but that was the
Car in
only
the driveway.
way, to get it to stop.
Thank
Wow.
God someone on your team was able to do that.
I know.
You
Well,
know?
oh my God, a multi-million
Otherwise
dollar,
you're gonna
nice
have-
house.
well,
if I was,
I might too.
You know,
Honestly, I might be like, "I'll hire private
How
security."
long
Yeah.
did he get to
Just
live
move in.
there?
I think only like a couple months.
Yeah, it probably
Still,
sold
that's
pretty
pretty good.
quickly
It
in
was-
COVID. I mean,
yeah,
that
it was-
stuff.
yeah.
It didn't matter where it was; it was still going to sell.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now I understand like why they moved out and like
Right.
it was that bad. I thought it was just like, oh yeah, it's getting.
You're like, "There's
bad.
homeless people everywhere. We're used to this now." Like,
yeah, it's
whatever.
LA.
No,
No, it was bad.
Did you have to disclose the homeless stuff?
I don't know if I don't know if they
wonder
did.
if
Yeah,
that's-
it
I
wasn't.
I don't
don't
think
think-
so. No, I don't think we do.
Really?
Like, I mean, if there's, I don't know.
Sounds kind of gnarly.
Well, I
should
don't
look into
know. I
this.
mean,
Yeah.
we should, maybe I should cut this out. Like, we actually know about our jobs.
Sorry.
I know. I think it depends on the situation. Like, yes, if you, like, when we've had some break-ins, we have had to tell the prospective buyer, like, hey, look, but I don't know. There's not like a homeless disclosure. There's not anything.
Right.
There's no legal,
Sure, there will be soon.
probably.
Okay,
I'm surprised there's
USC or
not already.
UCLA?
Where I went to college.
Yes.
LMU actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I know. Jesuits.
Hello.
A Jewish person at a Jesuit school, switching it up.
Switching it up.
Yeah.
I like it.
Sharky's? Is that the place you
Yes,
guys always go?
Sharky's in
Yes.
Manhattan Beach. Wow. Did you go to
One of my best friends went there. So,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
She went to,
UCLA. I?
no, you.
Yeah, UCLA.
Yeah.
UCLA?
UCLA.
I almost said USC. Sorry. I
Would have
don't.
been canceled.
I don't know
Yeah.
these rivals. I don't. Listen, all I know is I went to
I know that
ASU.
right.
I don't know. I should. I know. It's embarrassing. Anyway, I'm going to cut that part out too. No, I probably won't.
Cut it out.
Anyway,
Cut everything out.
Cut everything out. Today has been...
Cut it.
It's been a long day.
Okay, if you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be and why?
Okay. Something I think I'd be really good at,
Ooh.
because I already do it in my daily life,
Okay.
is a therapist.
Yes.
And
And
personal trainer.
oh yeah, I used to be a
Hello.
personal trainer. So
We talked about this one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you know me, my personal life, I am a therapist to every single person that I know.
Aw.
So I already like joke I do it for free.
Yeah. so you
Might
might
as well.
get
Maybe
paid
you should
for
go back
it.
to school and start making some money.
Should I?
We really are therapists. Yes. That's why
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, we
Yeah, but
literally
real
do everything.
therapists, aren't they a little crazy?
Well, it's funny. My own
Yeah, I don't
therapist
know if you
recently
can-
told me, she's like, you'd be a really good therapist.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, thanks, girl. I was
Wait.
like, I know. I was like, should you say that? But like, thanks.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe
She's like, I'm going to start laying down and you help me out here.
Okay, guys, welcome. Welcome to your session.
Today's session, we probably both need it.
Talk about your
desperately.
childhood. Just kidding.
I mean, I don't
Oh,
remember
I
much
don't
of
wanna
it.
talk about my childhood.
I had a
kidding,
great
what do you want
childhood from
done?
what I remember, but I don't know. Who knows? I drank too much in college. It's like, you know, it's all at
Wash
the You're
it
like,
out.
do you remember when you're 5? I was like, nope.
Nope.
6?
Didn't remember
Nope.
yesterday.
I don't either.
Don't remember what I had for breakfast.
Yeah, I have a really bad memory.
I do too.
I can't
It's actually
remember
kind of
like
scary.
my first memory. Can you?
No.
No.
I
But I
can't remember
do.
high school.
There are
No, seriously. Like, there's snippets, but
snippets for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Do you?
I feel like I have like little like memories of like.
There's little stuff that comes back, or like
Yeah.
and maybe it's even just from seeing pictures.
Pictures.
I was gonna
That's where
say,
I
do
think
you
that
have
might-
memories or is it through pictures?
I don't
There's like
know.
that whole debate.
I think it's through pictures.
Probably
Pictures.
through pictures. Just be, and especially, I mean, I'm aging myself here, but I was born in the 80s, early 80s. And so back then, that's all you did was document through, you know, camcorders. And by the way, my mom called and was like, I'm getting all of our camcorder, like
Digitalized?
VHS tapes. Yeah, digitalized and everything. She's like, do you want your D.A.R.E graduation? And I was like,
D.A.R.E graduation.
I was like, yeah. Like,
Graduated?
it was later that it became an issue, not in 6th grade.
I don't know.
My God. And by the way, nothing was an issue. I was totally kidding.
Could take that out too.
All of it.
Got
This
it.
whole episode is just the
It's
acts.
just
We're gonna have
gonna
to
be like an
re-record.
intro.
We're gonna have to re-record.
It's just me
it.
sitting here.
Yeah. But by the way, my D.A.R.E officer was hot.
Okay, there's the issue.
Well, you know, that was the issue.
I didn't have to.
Therapy.
You
but-
didn't?
Oh.
Oh yeah. Did
Was
you?
it? Was it like
Yeah.
what's an acronym?
I
Drugs and
Drugs.
I guess
So
that didn't
it
really
worked
help.
really well. Max, what does D.A.R.E stand for?
Drugs and recreational.
Where's the and?
No. Oh my God.
A.
Do we like really have to wrap this? But like, hold on.
Drugs
And
are
What does D.A.R.E stand for?
should have kept us guessing.
Drugs?
And
Drug abuse resistance education.
I'm saying A is the and.
And what did you say? You said
Recreational.
recreational.
drugs are fine to do recreation.
Okay, so maybe we didn't graduate. My mom is just making that up.
Yeah, so ever send that video over. I want to see it.
My
love to
little
see that.
chubby ass 6th grader, like in my D.A.R.E to keep kids off. Remember, it was D.A.R.E to keep kids off drugs, and
What do you do? Just like, I pledge not to do drugs.
I have no idea. I don't remember. I remember the shirt.
Yeah, that's
I've
all
seen
I
the
remember.
shirt.
Yeah.
That's how I know of it, but we didn't
Yeah,
have it at
I
my
That's
school.
our memory.
See? Maybe that's
I didn't
a real
have it.
memory.
I feel like they did get rid of it. Like we had a D.A.R.E officer.
I've heard of that.
Like at
But
our
we didn't have that.
elementary school, didn't you?
I think we had like a class or something.
He was like he
Like an officer, like always.
yeah,
on
he was like,
campus?
I'm pretty right, mom. I think he was call my mom. Call my mom. I
Phone a
think he was
friend.
like a cop. Like I think he was.
He's a
And
cop?
yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I think why is my voice sounding so high? We gotta go. My voice is back. It was really raspy. I was
All right,
cold
cut this
for
episode.
I gotta go. This whole episode. People have officially stopped listening. Don't show this to your parents, okay? This is like, or
Okay.
do. They'll
Or
love
do.
it. Okay, we now know what D.A.R.E stands for. I
I actually already
can't.
forgot.
I forgot to. I'm gonna be
Well,
honest.
it's not recreational drugs. Okay, that's what it's not.
We got the first letter. We know what D stands for.
Okay, what is this episode called?
Drugs.
I mean,
D.A.R.E with John. D.A.R.E with John. D.A.R.E John. D.A.R.E John. D.A.R.E John. It's
Dirty
like,
John. Do you ever watch that show?
no.
Ooh, should we? What's
yes,
it on?
yes.
Is it scary?
It's real. It's about
No, the lady that dates him.
Yes.
No, I don't watch it because I'm still in the dating pool and I don't want to meet some serial
You'll be
killer. I live alone. I can't do it. I also could not live with John. I would freak out. I'm not your sister. Can't do it.
I'll
I
come
can't do
stand
it.
outside your door and protect you.
You're the D.A.R.E officer.
You're gonna
I'm
have
the
to
D.A.R.E
move
officer.
in. You're gonna have to move in. I'm gonna be. I'm moving in with you and your sister. Except
Okay.
I'm allergic to cats. That might not work. Okay, this is a shit show. We gotta go. I love you so much. Thank you so much for
Love
coming
you guys.
on. And
Thanks.
if anyone is still around next week, we'll see you then. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.